Looks nothing like the American Capitol, but there you are. Amazing what they can do with a camera these days. Look on the right-hand side, you will see a Hard Day's Night hotel, a Beatles-themed hotel. Look at the statues of the Beatles on the first floor. The second one along is supposed to be George, but I think it looks more like Billy Connolly. See what you think. As we head further down the street, on the right-hand side, you will also see Matthew Street, home to the Cavern Club, the famous venue where the Beatles played 292 times between 1961 and 63. There's plenty to explore down Matthew Street besides just Beatles-related artefacts though. Halfway down Matthew Street, you'll also find the Cilla Black statue. Now, Cilla's probably best known for impersonating a singer in the 1960s, before going on to be a TV host of the 80s and 90s. But the Cavern Club, of course, synonymous with the Beatles. But my trivia question to you is this. What was the last song the Beatles played at the Cavern Club? Well, they started to play She Loves You, which was their #1 track in the charts for their last concert, but with 500 screaming teenage fans in this dank, dark underground cellar with no ventilation, the walls began to drip with all of the sweat and condensation. The downpour was so significant, it went onto the electronics, causing a complete power outage. The owner of the Cavern Club poked his head out the back and said, "Lads, you still have 4 minutes to play. If you do not play your allotted time in its entirety, I'm not paying you 1 penny." Paul saved the day. He went and grabbed an acoustic guitar off one of the support groups and played the only song that he had rehearsed without requiring the rest of the band, which was When I'm 64. So When I'm 64 was the last song the Beatles played at the Cavern, reportedly to muted silence in front of 500 teenagers who wanted to be dancing to rock and roll, not hearing about being a pensioner. Look on the left-hand side, can you see the Sir Thomas by the traffic lights here? Now this is a bar and restaurant, but look at the first floor on the left. Look at the multicoloured plastic pigeons on the first floor windows. Now, everything to the left is the gay quarter of the city. These pigeons were placed here to celebrate Pride 8 years ago. And they were only supposed to be there for 4 weeks, but they've stayed there permanently because the owner of the Sir Thomas realised that the multicoloured plastic pigeons were actually scaring the real ones away, and has been saving the cleaners a particularly messy job once a week as well. On the right-hand side of the traffic lights here is the Conservation Centre. This is where works of art from all around the world that have been damaged are brought to be restored. But as we go through these lights, we now have the ultimate battle of good versus evil on our hands. Please choose the right side, which ironically is on the left. This magnificent red brick building is the Dixie Dean Hotel. Dixie Dean is the only footballer to ever score 60 goals in one season. He was the George Best, the Eusebio, the Maradona, the Pele, the Mbappe, the Lionel Messi of the 20s, 30s and 40s, Everton's famous number 9. Opposite that hotel is the Shankly Hotel, but nobody knows or cares who Bill Shankly was, so let's move swiftly on and never mention his name again. On the left-hand side, you'll also see the Queensway Tunnel, opened in 1934 by King George V. And if you don't know who that is, it's Colin Firth's dad in The King's Speech. But this tunnel is featured in many films and TV shows.